and so far nothing too out of the ordinary. However, there's one thing I wanted to point out that is a little bit out of the ordinary for the Deadeye Bounty League. Both teams have their full roster here.
Yeah, that's a good point. We've had a lot of missing players thus far, but looks like today we're starting strong, so that's good to see.
Yeah.
Got Masera back here for BMG, and Druids got their full 5 as well, so should be in for a good series.
Yeah. Yeah, pointing out, again, Masera, he is officially the new 5th, just to clarify that. Again, no longer Isolate Coco, and even before that, of course, took no longer the players on the team. So, yeah, Masera is their new 5th. Anyways, we got to talk about this draft here. We already got plenty happening. Let's get into it. Deadlift, Midas, Hellbringer, Ophelia, the bands. See the Deadlift initially, man. That's actually really intriguing there, but Parasite into Tundra, Kinesis into Behemoth, and Magebane into Sandray. So, actually a pretty interesting draft here so far. A lot of centric around, specific players, but I mean, Deadlift, I know you guys don't like Deadlift, but as a first fan, that seems a little odd.
I don't think I noticed BMG banning it all that often, so it must be against Druids. They must have somebody that really likes Deadlift, so it's a really annoying hero to deal with, and they did want to opt for the Parasite as their first pick, so Deadlift's a good hero against Parasite, so they get rid of that. So it makes a lot of sense, seeing as how they go with the Parasite quite early.
Yeah, pick up on that there. So, yeah, Kinesis, of course, hands of Boxy. And, again, I will say with that combination, obviously he has plenty of great history. Not to say it's a bad pickup by any means to go with, but we have had games, it seems like a little more as of recent, his Kinesis hasn't been as devastating as we've used to see it, when it really did have that surprise factor maybe of catching people off guard. Now people almost expect it feels like. We see bans on it against BMG even. So do you think Kinesis is still scary in the hands of Boxy, or are you confident you know how to deal with it now, whatever?
Yeah, I think the heroes, whenever you have a player that plays one specific hero very well, it's always scary when they play it. But yeah, as you pointed out, it's one of those things where the more and more people play against a certain hero, the more they start to think of ways you can deal with that hero. And, Kinesis is one of those heroes, if you send him long lane, he doesn't have an escape mechanism. So if you have a lot of lockdown for him, you could burst him down quite easily. He can't really escape. So, there's ways to deal with heroes like Kinesis. You just got to kind of, think outside the box, what it is that we can do that we could shut this hero down.
Yeah.
So I think teams are starting to pick up on that, and they're finding ways to deal with his Kinesis more and more.
Mm-hmm.
But he plays it fantastically, so it's always great to watch.
And he does, and they got their full 5 good to go, in fact. They finish off with a Magnus even pick coming out here. So, yeah, we have what ultimately is in a Luna, Kinesis, Parasite, Magebane, and Magnus. They keep swapping things around there, but that's what lineup we're going with. They got the Magebane carry, always a very sound carry to go with. I mean, overall, even with the Kinesis, again, especially being BMG, this seems like just a pretty standard and solid lineup by them. No, not really a whole lot of question marks here, I wouldn't think. Again, expecting the Kinesis Suicide and probably Magnus mid and Luna Magebane bottom, perhaps. But I mean, I guess they have Parasite. Could be some kind of aggressive. Do you think that could be a possibility here?
Yeah, it's definitely possible. They are playing against the Behemoth, which a lot of the times you want to just send one hero against it because you don't necessarily need a support to box him out. So they could definitely solo the Magebane against Behemoth, and Magebane would do just fine in that lane. And then they can do something like a Kinesis, a Luna lane, which is very strong. There's a lot of harassment and a lot of burst potential there, especially with the Parasite. And Magnus is a great solo hero as well. So they definitely could do something like an aggressive makeup. It's going to definitely come down to whether Druids draft something like a greedy jungler, and they are shadowing a Keeper of the Forest. So there's definitely the possibility of a man-up now with that final pick, as well as the short lane Sandwraith being a more of a passive sort of laner. Doesn't really have the most laning presence. So yeah, definitely there is the potential for an aggressive man-up coming out from BMG. It's going to come down to whether or not they feel confident executing that or not.
I mean, okay, so you mentioned, if they go somewhat of a greedy jungler, you kind of just, you made the point, okay, yeah, there's here the four, like, wait, what, Keeper of the Forest, what? I mean, we've only seen this hero, I want to say, once since the changes, and it was even a little bit, I think Zlapt actually played it for Sync in a game back in Hunter Season 4, and it actually did all right, but it eventually kind of just died out. I mean, again, that's one game example, though. What do you think of Keeper? I mean, is this a surprising pick to you, or are you actually not surprised to see it here?
To be honest, I'm a little surprised they picked it up in this game. I don't really see a necessary reason for why they would want to pick up a keeper. Um, Generally, when you pick up a keeper, it's good when the opposing team's carry isn't relegated to items like Geometer's Bane. Most carries will always buy a Shrunken Head, so that's one way to deal with the root. But if you do get a Resto Stone on the keeper, then you're definitely going to need a Geometer's Bane and a Shrunken Head. And Mage Bane is definitely one of those heroes where he's going to get both of those items. So the Keeper of the Forest will be good in the early game, but once Mage Bane gets to the point where he gets those two items, his lockdown isn't going to provide that much in terms of locking down Mage Bane. However, it will lock down the rest of the team, which will set up for the Behemoth ulti and some AoE from Tundra as well. So there is a little bit of synergy there. However, I don't know if I feel it was the greatest pick in this game specifically.
Interesting point about that, but I mean, again, just seeing the idea. So as far as individually, maybe not even looking at the actual matchups here of who they're going up against. The new keeper, I assume you've actually played it, a little bit yourself, being a jungler. Do you feel like, so how do you, because I think that's one thing we kind of noticed in the game was he was still building it that way of the Resto Stone, the portal, the initiation build, rather than maybe building it more of a semi-carry. He has that potential now with the new W, the nature, or whatever it's called, the Nature Sentinel there. How would you like to see it build?
Well, me personally, I don't play the hero a whole lot. But when I have played it, I have kind of stuck to the more traditional route of playing like an initiator, getting that portal key, being able to set up a big root in a team fight for positioning, and then also going the Resto Stone. So that's just the build that I've kind of played with a lot, and I think I would call it a little bit more of a traditional, the old school keeper, just play around the ultimate.
Yeah. But
But as you pointed out, with the Nature Sentinel now, he doesn't have the keeper minions for a long time now. The more attack damage you build, the more that scales. So you definitely can build him as a right clicker, but if you do go that route, then you're more than likely going to need to pick up items like Shrunken Head. So being able to realistically sit there and auto attack in team fights is a little bit harder. And I think it's just more of a safer route going for items like the portal key, just getting off a nice route for your team. Sandwraith's going to eventually get to the point where he has that mock, and he's just going to do tons of damage in team fights. So being able to provide, good solid lockdown for your team is always really, good in my opinion. So,
yeah,
I tend to lean towards that style of play with keeper.
I mean, there's no doubt his ultimate is still that kind of is the main part of the hero. That's what really makes him a pickable hero, and it's arguably one of the better ultimates seen in the game. So. Especially when it comes to team fights here. So, yeah, it's understandable to still build around that idea. But interesting right here, by the way. Keeper of the Force actually blocked his own hard camp on the right here. I guess he's expecting Parasite to man up. But as we see, that's not the case. Maybe it's just a case that he doesn't plan to do it here, obviously, very shortly. So, just in case is the point there. But Macera on the jungler here on Parasite. He is sure enough in his own jungle over here. So, yeah, the idea of the man up here going to the lanes now. We do see it's not happening. They go more of the passive route. They just send Kinesis up here. You got Mag middle, and you got the pseudo tri lane really sitting up in the bottom lane in the end. So the lanes end up being somewhat safe for both sides, you could say, coming out of here. So as expected, you think? Nothing really too out of the ordinary here then?
No, it's definitely not out of the ordinary. And what it tells me, with the way they've set up their lanes, BMG more specifically, since they have laned the Parasite in their own jungle, it means they're definitely confident in taking the game late. They're basically making a point that you can have farm on your keeper, we'll have farm on our Parasite, and we'll get farm on our Mage Bane, and we'll take it to what as far as we want to go because we have the better late game.
Yeah.
That's basically what the way they've laned has told me anyway. And Parasite's going to have to deal with a Tundra Bird, which is always going to be super annoying. So deciding not to go for the aggressive man up definitely means that Parasite is going to have a tough time even in his own jungle. So there's that to consider as well.
Yeah, that's fair. You see that the sure enough Shiver over here kind of blocking the camp over here to the furthest left here in the jungle. So Parasite already feeling the annoyance of that Shiver. Not the best here. Playing the Tundra. Obviously doing a good job of making that a priority, or somewhat of a priority at least, to block and make the farm a little bit more difficult for that Parasite. So yeah, we'll see what kind of start Masera continues to have here. Again, that was one of the big question marks. Seeing Masera now joining the team is he's not, as of recent at least, he's definitely wasn't a true jungler. He was more of that middle player that we've seen quite a bit. But he does have jungling experience, no doubt, and it seems like he's gonna maybe be that. Well, I think we even talked about that a little bit yesterday. It probably depends on the hero. Like Ophelia would probably be with Fusin, but in this case, a Parasite, be in the hands of Masera. So.
Exactly, and then if they do go for even different junglers, Ophelia specifically, sometimes he plays the initiator in the short lane, sometimes he'll play the support role, depending on all the heroes that they do pick. So they do tend to swap up roles depending on a lot of the picks that they do choose.
Something I would be curious if we ever see is Boxy playing support here for BMG. Don't know if that would ever happen. It just doesn't feel like that would happen.
I think they would definitely, or well, not definitely. I think they would more likely than not just throw Make on it over Boxy, because Boxy's more of that playmaking player for the team. So I think they would just value Boxy having the farm. Not to take anything away from Make, just I think that's just what fits BMG the best.
Uh-oh. Speaking of Boxy, trying to make a play right there and harass a little bit. Now he went a little too far as Behemoth all of a sudden happens to be up here. Obviously, that's what he last expected. He's in trouble, though. He's going to eat through the trees. Does he have enough? Okay, he's going to... Oh, my God, he actually is going to be able to get away. Look at that. Between the tree eaters and using the lift ability to get some of the trees out of the way, he actually escapes right there. Wow. He made that look easy, but that wasn't.
That was really well played, and... if he lifted even just one wrong tree, or ate one wrong tree with the tango, because he did eat all of his tangos there, he would have definitely died. So that was just really well played to make sure to eat all the right trees.
Yeah, fantastic heads up in his part. So obviously, again, he's good to go, surviving. Gonna go back to base though, get some regen going on here. But with that surviving there, still no bloodlust kill coming out as we're approaching the 5-minute mark coming up here. You see both carries, I assume, are both doing very well. Looks like it. Mage Bane 35 and 11. You got Sandwraith 25 and 8. So Sandwraith is a little bit more of a struggle now. He is dealing with that Kinesis, who could be pretty annoying, constantly lifting up the creeps, denying heavily and whatnot. So keeping it pushed back at least. But yeah, is that a little surprising to see Mage Bane much better than Sandwraith, or is that Kinesis that much of an issue?
No, it's definitely not, because Behemoth is one of those heroes, when played in the offlane, he definitely gives up pretty much the lane almost every time, especially if it's not a 1v1, if it's a 2v1, which it is in this case. And Kinesis actually gets taken down in the top lane.
Yeah, real quick there, I was watching that the whole way, and actually Kinesis almost got the bloodlust on a Rhapsody, got him down to, had to be like 10 life or so, but Rhapsody did the staccato panic as he's running away. Sandwraith then put in the auto attacks and forced Kinesis to try to run, and obviously we saw the end result of he just couldn't get away at that point, so that was well played in return. But yeah, Kinesis, Boxy, that's what he does though, especially on this Kinesis. He really goes for the big plays, especially the hero kills, which you've seen so many times, but this time it comes up just short, unfortunately, and he gets turned on. So, yep, Bloodlust in favor of the Hellborn team though.
Yeah, but so Kinesis is one of those heroes where he can definitely hold his ground a little bit better than a Behemoth in the long lane. So thus we see he's had actually pretty solid creep farm, although he did die for the Bloodlust, has 15. And you compare that to the Behemoth, who has 2 creep kills and doesn't even have any denies. So Kinesis definitely just pressuring the lane a lot more. And another kill happens in the mid lane, this time on the Magnus 4 heroes. They use the Sandwraith Mirage. It's a nice kill.
Yep. Yeah, using quite a bit right there. Even the Hasted Keeper assisting throughout the Nature's Sentinel. Got a couple auto attacks with that in. So then a Behemoth, actually, he barely hit that fissure, honestly. That was almost a getaway from Magnus, but the very end of the fissure stunt connected just in time.
By the way, look at Magnus's creep farm for a 1v1 matchup mid. He is doing fantastic. Even with that death, he's still 360 gold per minute, 100 gold per minute higher than the Tundra. So Make's doing a really excellent job in mid. despite even having that one death just now.
Wow.
Yeah, he's doing really well. Already has Steam Boots and a power supply on top of the bottle 7 minutes in.
Yeah, 47 and 13. Yeah, really comparing that to Tundra, just absolutely dominating. So that volcanic touch, which is only level 1 actually. It's obviously maximum lava surge here. I feel like we do see at least a couple points of that, if not more, early on in the game. But especially in this case here. But only needs the level 1. Hey, if he's getting this many last hits with just level 1, that makes it work, obviously. So yeah, he's doing a great job here, and he still needs a little bit now for his portal key, but he did go plenty of build up. You mentioned the boots, of course, steam boots, the bottle, and the power supply there. Probably gonna be that portal key next in line, though, of course. Okay, so keeper, always curious again to see how he develops. He did get the blood chalice. He is going the ghost marchers here as well, so not too much information just yet.
Yeah, I would say this is quite standard Ghost Marchers, giving him a little bit more attack damage. I believe that goes toward the Sentinel.
Yes.
So that makes that a little bit stronger. He does get the attack speed from his passive, so doesn't necessarily need the Steam Boots over the Ghost Marchers. And just having the extra mobility so that he can run in and catch heroes with the root. So I think that makes quite a lot of sense. And where we see him go from here is the question mark, whether he'll go for the initiation route, like I pointed out, or whether he'll go for something more of the farming route, because he definitely has the option to do so. Sandwraith isn't a hero that likes to rotate into the jungle and take farms, so he could sit in the jungle and farm if he chooses to. We have Veiled Rot top lane, I believe on a Luna, but he's gonna... Oh, Parasite.
Oh, there's the big initiation right here from Sandwraith. There's the Keeper of the Force ultimate as well. Parasite being locked down. He's probably going to fall right here. Yes, he is. Aluna also going to fall victim. Kinesis now the one in trouble. He gets the burst off just before he does go down. So at least he takes Keeper of the Force with him. But obviously big exchange in favor of Druids right here. A 3-for-1 to be exact. Now a 5-to-1 hero lead as a result of it all. So definitely much more in favor of the Hellborn team. But in the meantime, Magebane does continue to farm that bottom lane. Get bigger and better farm. So obviously still a big positive, but Magebane now is even going to get a tower kill out of this. So still looking good for BMG is the point, despite that. As now he's up to, what is he up to? Yeah, 450 gold per minute. Wow. That's before a Rune Cleaver, too. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, he's got really good creep farm, and then did end up taking the last hit on the tower, so that's going to boost his individual farm a little bit higher. Middle lane, yeah. Rhapsody gets taken out.
Nice kill right there. Saw that. Really not much more to it other than just simply got the Rhapsody a little too far up there. So, oh, Keeper? No, he's just going to get the rune here. Prevent Kinesis from doing so. But, yeah, Magebane, he just about has that Rune Cleaver now. Imagine when he gets that here. How much higher that's going to get.
Yeah, his farm is just gonna take off, and Sandwraith is closing in on his sort of the high. He needs about another 550 gold, so he's gonna have that in about a minute and a half or so, and then he'll finish the mock in a couple of minutes if he doesn't have any deaths happen. So he's gonna have the mock really soon, and Magebane's closing in on his cleaver. Just needs I think 800 more for his second sword. I believe he has one flying out right now. So both carriers doing quite well, and it's going to come down to the impact of Sandwraith with the TP ganks and the team fights once Behemoth picks up his portal key, so that they can slow down this Magebane. Otherwise, as we pointed out, BMG's late game with the Magebane, very scary.
Oh, Magnus middle lane, just enough lockdown right there. It looked like he's almost going to be able to get away, but again, between the staccato, the avalanche, and the burst that especially Tundra provides, not enough for Maki to survive. So his portal key once again going to be a little bit delayed a little bit longer even. 1230 gold saved up after that, but again, despite his great start, imagine if he didn't die yet. I mean, he obviously would have had it by now and could have really been wrecking things. So killing him a couple of times has been huge, no doubt, for Druids to definitely slow him down. You mentioned Behemoth, some kind of impact he can start having now as far as recovering and farm at least. He's starting to save up a little bit now as the creep wave is somewhat pushed up here. So Magebane, though, coming back to the bottom, may try to make a play on him if he does like overextend right here, but no, he should be fine. He's going to be able to chase him down in the end. So you mentioned Sandwraith, though, sort of the high, I believe, is on its way. So that Mock of Brilliance, of course, is going to be coming out here very shortly as well. So yeah, the timings on these farming tools for both carries, as you're pointing out, is actually going to be fairly similar in the end. Mage Bane, though, a little bit quicker as he gets his here.
Yep. And I really like how Druids is putting a lot of their early attention on the Magnus, because they at the moment don't have the resources to successfully kill the Mage Bane. And Magnus, as we pointed out, was having a really good time. So it's really good by them that they're slowing down his portal key progression, because once Magnus does pick that up, that's going to create that much more space with the rest of the team for Mage Bane to be able to farm without feeling pressure from Druids.
Middle lane, Keeper of the Forest, that Veiled Rot used, so definitely trying to make a play over here. Has that root ready to go, of course. Avalanche going to be coming out. Here we go with initiation now. Sandwraith also coming in with that Mirage. Magnus feeling the pain, and he goes down there. Kinesis, though, big counter burst. Actually, they do take out Keep the Force, Protective Melody, saving Tundra initially, but it's not going to be enough in the end. The Mana Rift also saw right there, assisting with some decent damage as well. So nice fight back there from BMG, and they actually come out on top in a 2-for-1 exchange here in the middle lane. Sandwraith, yeah, he ended up, okay, he did pour it in. He just got really low, though. He actually almost died. Didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I want to say, I forget who it was, but somebody died to the power throw while the Rhapsody Protected Melody was being channeled, and I believe the Protected Melody blocked the power throw for Sandwraith. Otherwise, I think he would have died as well. We do have a TP coming in, so they're not done just yet.
Oh, Mage Bane, though, blinks away in time. And nice denying the tower. You see Parasite trying to maybe get a hit on that with that Stealth Hunter, but unable to connect right there. So good job on the tower deny, and that will be the end of any kind of fight taking place. He's possibly right there. So yeah, a little, or a bit more so of interaction here in the middle lane. Ultimately, it goes in favor of BMG, though, and now the portal key on Magnus is just around the corner here. So he's going to be picking that up shortly. Tundra, though, also getting working towards his pretty closely, and Behemoth is obviously working towards his own a little bit longer, though. Picking it up.
Mage Bane taking out a triple stacked Ancients. That's really good for BMG. And although they do have the bird scouting him, they don't quite, as I pointed out, have the resources without any portal keys picked up on their initiators to be able to jump Mage Bane at the moment and lock him down. Sandwraith, Mirage is also on cooldown, so he's going to get those Ancients for free. That's going to boost his farm. Nearly has enough gold to pick up his Firebrand, so Mage Bane definitely progressing really well, breaking the 500 gold per minute mark, a little bit under 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned the Geometer's Bane, and then the Shrunken had that combination. Of course, so good against the Keeper, especially if he goes that Resto build. It easily allows you to escape, obviously, any kind of route that he lands on you. Now, again, still not exactly sure what Pexi is going to go for as far as his build. He is pulling up a bit of gold right here. About 1,700 or so right now, so... you know, if I had to guess at this point, probably leaning towards a portal key here. But
yeah, that would be my best guess, because I think maybe something else that he could go for would be something like the Insanitarius for the battle build, but he's obviously not buying any of the pieces to that, so it more than likely will be a portal key, and I think it's the right decision. Magnus going in with the Eruption.
Yeah, is it going to be enough damage? Protective Melody will prevent that. You see the burst from Kinesis waiting for it to end. Root does come out. Kinesis, he went a little too far up right there. Mirage in from Sandwraith assist for the kill as well. So Rhapsody, big ultimate STST. Great placement by him. And is able to set up that turret in the end. So very well played. And actually 1-for-0 coming out of it. So nice kill there for Druids. Taking out Kinesis, keeping him in check. It's safe to say Boxy hasn't been able to really snowball like he perhaps would have hoped to in that Suicide Kinesis role that he does from game to game. But
yeah, but he is 250 gold per minute, and for an offlaner that is still quite good, even with the 3 deaths. Behemoth has no deaths, but he's still only 170 gold per minute. So there is the trade-off of, you know, being more aggressive and dying a little bit more, but having a little bit more impact at the same time as Behemoth is at the moment. However, once Behemoth picks up the portal key, that'll all change. So it's more of a, not want to say timing, but more of, you know, Behemoth just needs that little bit of extra time before he becomes a threat.
Oh, Parasite top lane. He's escaping right here. You saw the Alchemist bones on Pexu, so my guess is that actually got Parasite initially, but he was able to survive it, and now here comes the counterplay. Rhapsody going to be caught by Magnus, puts out a Disco Inferno with the Mana Rift, though. Baltazar just wanted to make sure to secure that kill, and they absolutely get it. Sandwraith off to the side. He's going to make his escape, making sure not to get taken out as well. So, yeah, we see the Alch Bones, though, on Pexu. Again, to deal with Parasite here. As his first choice, really.
Yeah, that's an option I guess we overlooked. They are playing against a Parasite who is definitely going for Puzzle Box. He has the 2 build-up items. And, yeah, I guess now the question, again, is does he continue with the more of the, okay, bottom lane?
Well, yeah.
Got more action.
Parasite, he actually tried to go for a kill, realized it wasn't going to happen, so instead he farmed with all the trees that he had in the air, and then just sure enough, Tundra happened to still be nearby, jumped in with a portal key after he did that, and of course we saw the turn kill on a Magma still hanging around as well, and then even Parasite gets picked off trying to assist his teammate right there. So another nice couple of pickoffs actually for Druids, and now they're going to push in this bottom lane. As a result of that, should be the tower kill. So, I mean, the golden experience in this game, it's still really early on, only 18 minutes, but it continues to be a very even game here, and it's going to be that, especially after this tower kill now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a very, very close and even game. But yeah, the question is whether or not Keeper, okay, he uses the root top lane, but he's going to be taken down. I guess he just got caught a little bit too deep in the tower there. The question is whether or not he continues the trend of something like a right-clicking build, or whether he does, even with the Alchemist Bones picked up, choose to go for Portal Key. I still think the Portal Key, even picking up Alch Bones, would make a lot of sense. And that's a really good pick onto Mage Bane. Didn't even have the Avalanche, just using the Behemoth combination and having 4 heroes there. Really well done.
Yeah, very nice find on him, obviously, using that Ward of Sight to do so. But yeah, so again, to get your point, so you think the Portal Key now on top of the Alch Bones?
Yeah, I think definitely just still having that initiation factor to line up a good route.
Seems like momentum really is kind of building up more and more for Druids here in these last couple of 2 to 3 minutes here. From the tower kills, the hero kills, I mean, they now have 11-6 hero kill lead. You know, the bigger difference is, or the big advantage for the Legion side is that Mage Bane is still the highest GPM, but again, he's currently sitting dead right here while Sandwraith continues to farm
Bottom
up
lane eruption.
Oh, as I say that, but again, the protective melody just in range and gonna save the day, and also turn kill on a Magnus very likely. Maybe not, because he has a Portal Key coming up. Oh my god, Lava Surge. One more auto attack, and look at that, they'll get it as they chase him down. So Make thought for sure that was a kill, but again, Rhapsody, he has no doubt saved the lives of several heroes here in this game. Been big changes.
Yeah, he's definitely playing in the right place at the right time. That's now, I think, twice, if not 3 times, that he's sat in the right place and channeled a really nice protected melody. So really well done by STSD.
Yeah, and you see, again, the momentum now continuing once again for Druids right here. And as I say this, Mage Bane farming some triple stack Ancients. So obviously really boosting up that farming cheese. He already has that Geometer's Bane now. So even with the death he suffered earlier, he's still doing just dandy. Shrunken Head now, however, picked up on Sandwraith. So definitely cannot overlook that by any means. He too is doing fantastic. Behemoth, he has a Steam Staff, okay. I would hope that he would go the Assassin Shroud build, but he's probably going the Arcana into Resto Stone would be the more realistic. But Portal Key, I think, on Keeper? Yeah, I think I just saw him purchase that. And it sure enough is coming out. So as you really expected here, that is going to be
I really like that.
Do his Sentinels, I believe they do. Do they benefit from his attack speed? So, like, having the Alch Bones actually make them attack faster?
That I'm unsure about.
I think they do, because it seems like they are attacking fairly fast, a little faster than they usually would be, but yeah, I can't confirm that, though. I don't know that 100%.
I know that when you put down the Sentinel, even if you're not nearby any trees, that counts as, like, the... What's it, the charges on your end move?
Oh, yes,
so,
yes. Yeah.
So I know it works for Keeper, but I don't know how it works for the Sentinel. I'm not actually entirely sure.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, like, if we can give a little more value to those Alk bones, like, because of the attack speed that it
Right.
provides, if that really is benefiting the Sentinel or not. Because if so, if it amps the Sentinel as well, I mean, you could argue, obviously, yeah, that's just another level where that is a decent pickup. But
I'm trying to find something in the tooltip, but I don't quite see anything about attack speed.
yeah,
So
like,
I'm not sure.
well, attack modifiers don't work on the Sentinel, right? So like, because that seems like that may be a little.
I
too
don't
strong.
think so. I think it's strictly just attack damage, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Oh. Okay.
And oh, sorry.
Well, I thought that Magnus was
illusion?
trying to bait with an illusion right here, and I thought Behemoth was going to go, actually, but he realized it was just an illusion.
So yeah, back to the Sentinel. I think that's why items like Insanitarius are so good, because not only do you get the base damage, but it ups the damage as well, so it just adds so much damage to the Sentinel. Kinesis gets a solo kill onto Rhapsody, and Portal Key's out of there, but it's not done yet.
Yeah, got the portal key away initially. Unfortunately, not enough still. Yeah, I mean, he was really deep, though. And obviously, with dying there, that does not make it worth that exchange. He was in between the two towers here at the top lane, very deep in the Hellborn jungle, and just could not get out of there. So, not the greatest exchange once again. Support for that Kinesis. However, Magebane did continue to farm the bottom lane and push it in even more. Looks like he's going for that Frosthoof Skull now, actually, to follow up. So, are you a little surprised he's not going the Shrunken, actually, considering this game?
I think it's okay at the moment, seeing as how they don't have the Resto, at least, on the Keeper, so he has one way to deal with Keeper Root. But the biggest thing I would say is that he is playing against the Behemoth, which could be reason in itself just to go for the Shrunken. However, it's a toss-up because sometimes a lot of Magebane players like to just build bulky and they skip the Shrunken Head altogether. Obviously, it will block mock damage now. Well, actually, it would block mock damage regardless of the change, but point being is that Shrunken is really good against the Sandwraith with mock. Behemoth gets taken out top lane. They did use the Eruption for that kill, so it's a good solo kill. Actually did get assistance from the power throw from Aluda.
Yeah. He's been on top of that. I also just saw a Nullstone purchased on Magnus, actually. I saw the Glowstone earlier. That's what I figured it was going to be, and sure enough, it does get that here. Kinesis, by the way, he was just simply scouting things out, and he gets found again. So Boxy continues running into some trouble right here. Now with the 6 deaths right here, a game high, actually. But, again, really trying to just continue to keep up that aggressive mindset here, as you would expect. But,
yeah, the thing that BMG is doing right now is they're really they're going for individual plays. Both the Magnus and the Kinesis aren't really working together, which kind of seems like it could be not the greatest. But they did get the kill on the Behemoth in the top lane. But it just seems a little odd to me that they go for these kind of like aggressive positions, but they do it alone. And they are playing against the Sandwraith, who at any point in time can just press R and find you. So, you know, it's very tough to do plays like that when you do play against the Sandwraith.
Yeah. Yeah, but Boxy, again, insisting on continuing to do it. We'll see if that does continue even more, or if maybe he is going to pick up on that. Perhaps, yeah, probably him and Magnus going together, something like that. But Magebane trying to get aggressive here, going to the Hellborn Ancients. Getting there at the last second, though. But he does see Sandwraith at the bottom lane, but unless he gets some assistance, which could be happening here. As Parasite also in the area. Gonna wait for the rune-only refreshment, though. Top rune being the regen rune over there. You do see Shiver blocking the Legion Ancients, meanwhile, so...
Yeah, and he's been doing this quite a lot. He's been doing a really good job. We haven't really mentioned a whole lot about Tundra and what he's been doing with the minions, but he's been scouting the whole game with the bird blocking Ancients. And they get a pick off with that Ward of Sight, which is just about to wear off, so that's a nice kill, even on the support. Magebane, I believe, just finished his Frosthoof Skull, so he's flying that out, and they're going to look to perhaps push this middle tower. Kinesis going deep.
He is. There's the counter, though, with that Avalanche. Mirage going to be used, but it doesn't seem like the Hellborn wants to fight this, as they are trying to fall back. Sandwraith did pour it in, by the way, and he does take out Kinesis. Meanwhile, over here, though, Behemoth's going to be chased down by Parasite. And now dealing with that Tundra. Keeper the Forest nearby. He already did use his root. and now going to be on the run. So it is a big picture 2-for-1, but TDrz not done. He jumps in recklessly, and he goes down. Not sure what the plan was there, but he went in by himself, clearly not on the same page as his teammates, and feeds them another kill. So it ends in a 2-for-2, actually.
Oh, Dust Spot's Keeper. He's in trouble.
And now Keeper's in trouble. But again, STST on top of the protected Melody will save the day. Keeps him alive, and now the chase is on in favor of the Hellborn team, but looks like BMG is going to ultimately make the escape themselves. You know, I said 2-for-2. I think it was actually 3-for-1 in favor of BMG. So, yeah, that final kill especially, I'm not sure what Tundra was thinking there. Unless there is...
it was 2-for-1. Rhapsody had already died, so technically a 3-for-1.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Tundra kind of blinked in, and he used Piercing Shards, which took out the Mauler. Behemoth goes in with the Shockwave. Magebane can't get the blink off. That's a really nice kill. He does get the tower, so there's that small consolation prize. So gets that goal for his team, but DERz is going straight for the Kongor now with Magebane dead.
He probably, you know, Keeper does seem like he's decent with that Nature's Sentinel and Sandwraith. Where is Sandwraith? Is he in there? Yeah, he is also. And they're assisting, of course, killing Kongor. So, not the quickest Kongor kill, I guess, but with Magebane dead especially, it does open up the door big time. So, yeah, getting that Magebane kill, absolutely big to respond after what just happened in that fight, which once again was definitely in favor of BMG, but this just kind of continues what this game really has been. If one team starts to pull ahead a little bit, the other team makes some plays and starts coming back. So, and if anything, takes the lead themselves, and basically what DERz did right there. Spell Shards coming out for Maximilian, by the way, on Behemoth. So not in every game pickup on Behemoth by any means, but it's one we see every now and then. I mean, if you feel like you need a little bit more amp damage, of course, it's great for that.
That is 100% due to being against Magebane. Okay. Once he blinks in, has all that bonus magic armor, and it's kind of silly as a Behemoth. You normally do a lot of damage even to most carries as the game progresses, but Magebane specifically, it feels like you tickle him, and he needs a way to deal damage to the Magebane along with locking him down. So the spell shards actually make a lot of sense this game, being able to cut through, I think, what is it, 60%? Yeah, 60% of the magic armor. So that's a good tool for him to use to help his team with locking down the Magebane.
Yeah, no, absolutely makes sense. It is a smart pickup. You know, if they're not going up against a Magebane, you know, maybe a different story. But definitely, as you pointed out there, good logic behind it. So solid pickup definitely from Behemoth. Restless-Stone obviously on Sandwraith finish. Has that token he's working with, and Keeper's Restless-Stone.
I believe he has the Arcana in his stash, and there it is. He just buys the recipe, so he has completed Restless-Stone 30 minutes into the game, and now this is the point where Magebane needs to go Shrunken Head, because if he doesn't have the Shrunken, he's going to get locked down. He'll be able to get out of the first route with the Geos, and then the second route will come out and lock him down for 4 seconds.
Yeah.
So that'll be 4 seconds where Magebane will be stuck there not doing any damage in the team fight.
Yeah, Magebane choosing to get that Fossil Skull first, but definitely you got to think that Shrunken Head is going to be that next item here. No doubt for Magebane, and then possibly something like a Wing Bow to finish it all off would make a lot of sense here. But yeah, still needs about 1,000 gold here before we're going to see that Shrunken Head. They're thinking about making a play at the bottom lane, but again, the Hellborn team is the one with the token, and yeah, Veiled Rot here. Middle lane.
Kinesis could definitely be dead here. We got double Veiled Rot coming in. Gonna use the Avalanche right away.
That is a dead Kinesis. He does not even pour it in with the Sandwraith, actually. He just lets the Illusions assist while he's going to continue going bottom. So, a little curious about that. I figured he would have poured it in, then pushed the top lane, but he actually stays bottom to counter push the creep wave here.
Yeah, and he does need to be careful because we do have 3 players from BMG looking to set up on him. They're going to go in, Magma stuns in.
Just as you mentioned that, the Mana Rift is going to be enough. So, yeah, not only does you know, they not push the top lane, but obviously he ends up dying now down here. Now again, he has the token. Magebane be locked down. He can't get out of it. That's the problem. He doesn't have both the Shrunken and the Geometer's Bane. Geometer's was down. gets rooted, and he gets killed as a result. So big kill right there, obviously, for the Hellborn team once again. Despite losing Sandwraith first, but he had the token. So it actually works out pretty well for them in the end. That decision there.
Yeah, that's definitely, as long as this team was able to get there in time, which they were, definitely a good bait with the token, especially because they were able to get the Mage Bane for that token trade.
Now here comes that bottom push here. This should be a secondary tower kill at least. Again, Mage Bane does have a buyback, but that would make that shrunken head that much longer as far as being able to get it. And again, there's no doubt he really wants that shrunken head, especially seeing that Resto Stone now on keeping the forest. So yeah, he's not going to risk buying back. No point at this time here. It doesn't seem like DEBL is also going to be pushing in further, instead insisting on falling back themselves. Obviously, they don't have a token anymore to work with, so maybe going to be a case of waiting for yet another Conqueror here. Middle lane, though, Behemoth jumps in on Kinesis, and again, he will go down here. So Kinesis continues the game high, now 9 deaths here. But, I mean, it's not like he's doing poorly, though, at the same time. I mean, he does have 5 kills and 3 assists, but they are locking him down quite a bit, and Kinesis' impact, again, hasn't been as great as definitely hoped for. Now, he is still most damage on his team. That's what Kinesis.
Oh, that is quite impressive, considering where Mage Bane's been at most of the game. I guess just loving the creeps a little bit more than the heroes. But yeah, that is definitely a good point to bring up, sitting at 14%. Second highest in the game behind Sandwraith, which naturally, with the Mach and the global presence, would have the highest.
Yeah, not surprising to see that there by any means. But yeah, seeing him up there still is kind of good for BMG to work with. But it does, I mean, we do have our biggest lead now, as I'm now glancing up at the Golden Experience leads here. It's now a 7,000 gold lead, 8,300 experience lead in favor of Druids. And once that's the biggest lead for either side that we've seen in this game. So Druids definitely has now really found a nice groove here. Now, again, the biggest thing against that is that Mage Bane is farming still insanely well, the 600 gold per minute. He does have enough for a Shrunken now.
Both carries have identical gold per minute. Yeah. That's quite funny. Okay, it just slightly went to Mage Bane, but yeah. I want to point out how Tundra had a really tough time in the middle lane, but since then has really recovered quite nicely. 380 gold per minute, has a tablet, a Soul's Bulwark, and a portal key, or and a Shrunken Head on top of the portal keys. So his item progression has really come along. And it's really nice to see that he's able to pick up that Shrunken, because now he can really just jump into that team fight and sit there and auto-attack without threat of being locked down by the Eruption and the Kinesis combinations.
Yeah.
That's good to see.
Staff of the Master on Sandwraith. Obviously a very powerful item as well. It is great for definitely jumping a hero like Mage Bane, most certainly. They're going to go on to Magnus here in the top lane. He actually Resto Stone for, okay, he just popped his Resto Stone. He does have that second ultimate good to go. The root, it misses, but Sandwraith does jump Magnus still, and they will finally get the kill. It took forever, but it does work out. Meanwhile, off to the side, Behemoth actually gets picked off. Aluna's going to be chased down over here as well, but there's a Protective Melody. Not sure. Saves a shiver, I guess, but has Keeper the Force on the run, though. He's going to go down. All of a sudden, Sandwraith is kind of by himself right here. He's fighting against Mage Bane and Parasite. Rhapsody is running over, but Sandwraith realizes that's not a battle he's going to win. He ports out. Rhapsody will get picked off as well. So, you know, we're caught up with them chasing down Magnus and getting the kill onto him, but in the background, obviously BMG was getting some important kills, and they come out on top, you could argue.
Yeah, they definitely came out on top, I think. They used... did they use 2 Sandwraith ultimates on the Magnus? I felt like they used a lot, and it took them a long time, even though they did get the kill in the end. They took a long time to bring down Magnus, and in the background, as you pointed out, BMG was just taking out one hero at a time. I think it started with Behemoth and then eventually Tundra. Rhapsody uses the ultimate, but unfortunately wasn't in time to save, and then he goes down, so just one by one they start to fall, and Sandwraith can only do so much once he's left alone against Mage Bane and Parasite. So, although both carries did survive, I think the trade was in favor definitely for BMG.
Yeah. Now Mage Bane, 650 GPM, so we are seeing a bit of that gap here all of a sudden between Mage Bane and Sandwraith. But yeah, using a little bit too much definitely on the Magnus. I think definitely came back to bite them in the ass, you could say, in that fight. So really making sure that they're being very efficient with the uses right there. The Null Stone also on Magnus, again, another thing that clearly would cause a little bit of an issue with that Sandra ultimate of his. That's what I almost thought for a second he actually used his double ultimate initially to even get in there in the first place, but he was able to get in there initially, and then he used the second to help chase him down further, but yeah, still too much used for that one kill right there. But another 4,400 gold on Mage Bane, like I was talking about the wing bow. Just makes a lot of sense here. Very traditional build even, so.
I think it's between Wingbow and Heart, and I think Wingbow is the better option. I think he's already got enough survivability with the Shrunken and the Geos for the Keeper. I don't think he can necessarily get bursted down from the Hellborn team, so I think going the more offensive route rather than defensive with the Wingbow makes a lot of sense. He'll be more of a threat, be able to take down heroes a lot quicker, and yeah, I think definitely he'll go for the Wingbow here.
Yeah. Keeper, this is going to be intriguing to me, but I guess he's
sitting on a lot.
Well, he's sitting on a lot, and it's just like, man, I really would love to see this combat style with this new Keeper of the Forest, but you can't. I mean, he's already built as that more of the initiator here, so I don't know if he can really transition. I mean, what could, like a demonic actually wouldn't be bad now that I'm looking at, like, they don't, they have souls on Tundra.
We have a bulwark onto Tundra, and I think given that information, I think the best options would be either a Sheepstick, because he has Portal Key Resto Stone, to be able to have double Sheepstick, or I would say Shrunken normally, but he's not really an auto-attacking presence, so I think the Sheepstick is his best choice at the moment. Otherwise, something like a Demonic or a Shrunken Head would also be quite okay. I think Sheep's the best option here for Keeper.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was afraid you're going to say that with a Sheepstick, but it does make
You're
a lot
afraid
of
I would say
sense.
Sheep?
Yeah. The Portal Key, the
Sheep's boring, right?
Well, yeah, it's just a, like I said, it's
okay, he should go Doombringer.
Exactly.
Because he's already got a lot of attack speed, so he just needs damage.
Yeah. No, I guess
Doombringer.
I just really like seeing Keeper of the Forest again. It's I'm trying to remember, like, when he was around, it was a very, frankly, boring time in a lot of ways. Obviously, a lot of repetitiveness. We saw this jumping in ultimate. We saw this counter attempt, whatever. This new Keeper, I was really intrigued now that if we're going to start seeing it a little bit again, to see maybe this new build at least, and more of a combat threat, more of that semi-career, like I said. But we see here, again, this is only now a second time we've having to see it, but it still seems like that idea of being a very strong initiator and the presence of that ultimate is what really makes the hero, and they're going to work around that. So,
yeah. He should go Elder Parasite, Basher, and then Spyglass, because Mage Bane now has a Wingbow.
Yeah.
And then just bash Mage Bane.
That's what I do.
That's what he should do.
I have played the new Keeper a couple of times, actually, and that I've actually gone for those solid builds. The Brutalizer or the Elder. Did he go Sheepstick?
Yeah, EP Brutalizer. Yeah, it would not be like out of the question, but Sheepstick with what he has is probably just the wisest choice. So they do have double Sheepstick now, as well as the Tundra ulti for lockdown. Behemoth. They have a lot of lockdown. It's just a matter of damage at this point. So I think anything from here on out should be items that help the team do damage now.
Well, Stealth Hunter checking things out over here, but Massera not able to find anything. Going to start falling back. You see the Shiver once again, Tundra, something to keep an eye on as he continues to use that for the vision, of course, as middle lane Keeper. He's setting up, looking to get a jump. Now, there's a Nullstone here on Magnus, so yeah, he couldn't use the... Oh, they actually Samwraith ultimate. Is he going anywhere? No. Just simply scouting with it, it seems like. Maybe also deactivating the Nullstone to see if they wanted to jump Magnus, but not the case there in the end. He's going back in, though. He does have the Nullstone back up. It doesn't seem like Druids is interested in fighting just yet, though. Kongor, he is up, right? Yeah. He's over here. Would only be the second Kongor kill right now, so...
Dude,
still no bananas, but still very worth doing.
Definitely.
And there we go. We're going to go right to it, so... God, he kills that quickly.
He would have to drop, I think, his boots at this point. I don't think he wants to drop the Rune Cleaver. Oh, Sheepstick onto Mage Bane.
Yeah, here we go. They're going to jump Mage Bane. Protectability also saving some damage. It is going to be stopped, but Mage Bane, he is able to blink out in time, barely surviving. Meanwhile, though, big turn kill on a keeper the forced, actually. He could not get off his second root right here. He does not have a buyback either, so that's a big kill for the Legion side. Nobody dead on their side just yet. In comes a big eruption and that Mana Rift on top. And all of a sudden, Sandwraith and Tundra explode in the background. They also, or actually, Luna is lost, but at what cost here? Behemoth will go down, and look at this. BMG going to go right back into Kongor and finish off Kongor now. Mage Bane living initially, and then helping to set up that turret in the end. That was huge for BMG.
Yeah. Boxy, did he Cyclone Mage Bane, or how did... Either way, he got saved, so that's the biggest thing. Keeper didn't get off his second root. I don't know if he got... I don't think he got the second sheep off either.
I do have the replay. We can check it out in a second here.
Sheepstick onto Tundra. They're going to take him down.
They're going to get that kill right there. Davin a little aggressive. You see Mage Bane getting somewhat low, but they just do not have the catch here. And he's going to be able to blink away. Sandwraith buying back, obviously, with Behemoth and Tundra, for that matter.
Yeah, 3 buyouts, and Tundra unfortunately does go down again. Token of Life does go to Magnus because Mage Bane is pretty much item capped.
Okay.
And yeah, Kinesis picks up a Cyclone, which I believe he had for that last fight, so they have that for the Sheep Sticks, so that Mage Bane can get his Shrunken Head and his Geos off, which is nice. He does go for the post haste, splits up the steam boots, and I believe he does have a buyback, so he's in a really good spot.
Oh, Sandwraith's going to be caught right here by the Sheepstick. Big burst from Kinesis, right in the background, catches a couple, including Magnus and Parasite. Parasite will go down as a result of it. You see Sandwraith use that Mirage. Going to use the second one, actually. They do get a kill on a Kinesis. They're going to chase anyone else. Doesn't look like, yeah, the rest are going to be fine. Magnus still does have that token right here, but a nice couple of kills now in favor of Druid. So eventually getting a couple of pickoffs, but not the important hero necessarily in Mage Bane, who's now in the middle lane here. He's tempting Fate a little bit, see what he can make.
He's going to get sheeped here.
Yeah, Keeper of the Force on top of him all of a sudden. Doesn't have the second sheep, but do they have enough lockdown? No. He is going to be able to
they at least force a Shrunken out of him, which is still a small victory, even if they don't kill him, so there is that. But yeah, I guess Druids isn't feeling confident pursuing anything with those couple of pickoffs. They're still playing up against the token, and Mage Bane is still up, so those are illusions bottom. He does TP back home.
Interesting item choice here, by the way, by Magnus. Maybe not. He sold it.
Okay, what did he go for?
Well, he originally bought Old Tours.
Oh yeah, actually, I did see that actually. Yeah, I don't think that really makes a whole lot of sense this game. Still a lot of magical damage, even from Sandwraith.
That. No, it wouldn't get you out of root, would it? So it dispels debuffs on you, but I don't think
that I'm actually unsure of.
Because it doesn't work like on stuns. So yeah, I don't know if it actually works against roots.
It might, because I think that's similar to how Geometer's Bane works. It dispels buffs and debuffs, so I believe that's the same mechanic.
Oh, you know what? You're right. And actually, so if it is the same as Geometers, then yeah.
It's how much cheaper? Like, not too much. It's like 600 cheaper than a Geometer's Bane. So yeah. The physical armor aspect of the item, I don't think really does all that much this game because there's so much magical damage on Hellborn. But the dispel effect would, or should dispel the roots. But
okay.
you could probably just argue why not just go Geometer's Bane for a little bit more gold, because then you'd be able to at least right click a little bit better.
On a Magnus even? So
yeah, I mean if he's gonna go that route at all, I would say I mean, it's not an item you'd normally see on a Magnus, but
Yeah.
if the dispel effect would be what he's looking for, I would say Geometers would be better.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Magnus is a split pushing hero, so in concept, I think a Geometer's Bane would make more sense than an Ultor's if that would be your route, but I don't think really either or what he should go for. I think he would still opt for a Shrunken Head over any of those options in this game.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, yes, if we were just talking about for the dispel effect, then sure, but, I mean, Ultor's, it does provide the armor. I mean, 18 armor on top of the use effect of where you basically are immune to physical initially, and it tapers off there. But, so, I mean, there is that aspect. Now, you look at this Hellborn team, this isn't the most glaring physical damage team necessarily, so, yeah, even more reason as, yeah, maybe it wouldn't be as powerful. But, yeah, if it does a spell root, then that at least would make some logic there. And
so I guess you could technically have 3 ways, although you can't activate a Shrunken and an Ultor's simultaneously. So I don't think we would see all 3 of those items at once
really
on one hero.
Well, you know what he does go, and I wanted to bring. Okay, never mind. He sold it. God, he's indecisive here. But he did buy a Nullifier Blade, and then he sold it. Now
Magnus?
that could be another thing. Yes, Magnus.
Okay. Well, yeah, that is another, and that would be the cheapest option, I believe, in terms of dispelling. So, yeah, and that one can actually work towards the sheepsticks as well, which would, for its cost and for what it does, be much better than all of the aforementioned items.
Yeah, no, that would make the most sense. Now it's kind of funny. He actually ends up buying a Mystic Vestment at this point.
Really? Okay,
Anyways,
so
yeah.
he right-clicks a couple expensive items and says, nah, let me just buy this cheap one.
Yeah, I'm curious about that, but Sandwraith will get a little bit more right-click damage here. He goes to the Wing Bow, and that's something that we'd always bring up whenever we see this staff, the Resto Stone idea. Yes, it is powerful, but it does mean you're not maximizing your damage potential as far as, again, that right-click, the true hard carry in the late game. Now, getting a Wing Bow, again, kind of solves that somewhat, at least, right now.
Magebane dropped his cleaver on the floor. Actually, wait.
He has it.
No. Wait a minute.
They're indecisive.
Okay,
still.
he bought a Whispering Helm, took over a creep, and then I think he literally just sold it.
Oh.
Because he picked his cleaver back up, and so he spent almost 2,000 just to take over a creep, which I think they're gonna use to post haste to, because that's the only reason I would understand him doing this, buying a Whispering Helm to take over a creep. So he's gonna send it somewhere top, and then they're gonna look to maybe do some kind of sneaky backdoor or like gank attempt. So hopefully this backup bot leader doesn't die, because oh man, he just spent 2,000 gold.
It's running on a suicide mission. Anyways, they're going to jump Magnus up here. By the way, Sheepstick coming out. 1 of 2. We know that they have the Shockwave also used in Magnus. Yes, it is enough lockdown. They also picked off Kinesis in the background. Parasite is going to be able to take a Rhapsody, but that's not the biggest of the kills at all. He goes down in the end. A 3-for-1 exchange so far. Magebane is here, though, with that Rune Cleaver. The Manor with a big Manor Behemoth will fall as the Eruption also follows. Keeper the Force is going to go down. So Magebane and Magnus are cleaning up here in favor of the Legion team. Sandwraith now on the run. Again, he cannot compete against this Magebane as far as toe-to-toe right-click and with these builds here. Sandwraith, can he get away, though? Behemoth, a big buyback. They get the kill on Magnus, and now Magebane locked down again with the Sheepstick. The buyback on on Keeper and Behemoth. Magebane is going to be able to get the blink off, but Tundra will chase him down. A genocide for Druids. Now, again, it did take several buybacks, including Behemoth now being out of them, but that's a huge finish to that fight, and they get the genocide ultimately.
Yeah, that Sheepstick from Keeper was perfect timing. Magebane was mid-animation on Blink, about to take down Sandwraith. That was so clutch. And then Tundra being able to Portal Key and take him down. He was sitting on like 25 life. Lived so long with that Wing Bow. You could just feel the 3 melee heroes sitting on him, and it just felt like he couldn't take that much damage. But they were able to bring him down. Really well played. It did come at the cost of a couple buybacks, as you pointed out, but they will probably force out at least the first buyback from Magebane here.
We see Hammer's running out. Magebane still no buyback just yet. At least ports are coming in. There we go. He does buyback. Now, honestly, that was a pretty late buyback. I feel like they were already falling back when he bought back right there. So I think that ended up being a pretty bad buyback. I mean, I really feel like he could have just sat another 30 seconds there, and they could have been fine. But, you know, maybe not. Maybe they would have gone in if they realized that he didn't actually buy back, but still.
Yeah, the thing is that Druids knows, okay, we know Magebane has 2 buybacks. He's Magebane. He's been capped for a while. He's got the money. We have to force it out, and we try to time it correctly to where they're going to go on us, and we just fall back and immediately waste the buyback. So they played that pretty much the best way they could. They get the first one out of him. So now it's just a matter of being able to have another successful team fight and being able to do that once more. Because Sandray still has 1, and the supporting casts are kind of limited on the rest of their buybacks as well.
Yeah. Oh boy, again, this is just game number 1, guys, here of today, coming at you. So definitely, as expected, some good matches on throughout today, and kicking it off with turning out to be a great series here, BMG versus Druids. And quite the battle we've had. I mean, whenever you have a 1,000 gold difference lead, 1,000 gold difference, and 5,000 experience difference even, 52 minutes into a game, you know it's got to be pretty damn close. Kogor, the third one. Here we go, buddy. Look at the top lane. The Vagabond was still alive. They send all the post-haste up here. What are they trying to accomplish? So they're trying to get a flank position, really. Now they're going to kind of be spotted here. They catch Keeper, though. At the last second, here comes the Canada with the Shockwave. Keeper going to stay alive, going to get the root off. Yes, he can. He does die shortly after, but at least he got the root off. Magebane is locked down, finally getting out with the Geometer's Bane, and now the chase is on Rhapsody. Rhapsody trying to run. She's not going to be able to. She goes down. Keeper bought back, by the way. He's got a second root, but a Storm Spirit on him catches him off guard, but Samwraith also ports in with that Staff of the Master. Parasite locked down, as well as Kinesis. The root actually doesn't hit anybody, but Magebane is killed in the end. A double tap right there for Sandray. So once again, more buybacks here from Druids, but they yet again do win the fight in the long run, and now here they are pushing back. Magebane, of course, has a buyback though. Kinesis and Parasite don't though.
Yeah, so as long as they can hold strong, even against the Magebane, they should be able to come away with at least 1 set of racks here. You have 50 seconds on Magebane. Does he choose to not buy back? And he's going to use it, so. There is still 2 dead. But they're not feeling comfortable, even with only 3 of them alive.
Yeah.
So they might look to fall back and take the Kongor here. We have Sandwraith going straight to the pit. So this was their mindset when Magebane bought back. Sandwraith is capped out. We do have no buybacks on Behemoth or Keeper, so I believe you would want to give it to Keeper in this scenario. I think the double root is a little bit more valuable than the single Shockwave.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Keeper gets the token here if you're Druids.
Okay. Well,
he goes for the bananas. No, he picked up the wrong one.
Okay.
So he takes the token, they give bananas to Behemoth. Definitely the right decisions, I think.
You see the top lane, the Legion Team PMG, they were pushing in the tower at least, but eventually is killed. You see the Vagabond leader, so that Whispering Helm, it actually has paid off a little bit. That last fight was set up because of that. Now, granted, they kind of came out on the losing end of the last fight, so maybe it wasn't worth it in the end, but the idea of it is still alive at least, I guess is what I'm getting at. So they still have that possibility.
Magebane swapped out Rune Cleaver for Savage Mace because Sandwraith has a wing bow, so swaps out 1 damage item for another. This one to have a little bit of purpose. Jump onto Tundra.
Oh man, STST's on fire this game with the Protective Melodies. He is going to die in the end. The Mana Rift's coming out, but he saved his teammates initially. Shockwave, double Shockwave from Behemoth. Kinesis, he's in trouble. Magebane did die already. Kinesis going down. And again, another victory for this Hellborn team. STST, not often you see supports getting the MVP status, but honestly, he should be considered at the very least. These Protective Melodies have been insane this game from him, and no doubt have saved so many kills, important ones at that. And now they're going to push. Magebane, no buyback. Kinesis, none. Magnus does. It would be his final, though. And can they actually defend without the Magebane is the biggest thing.
I don't think they can. Only Magnus has the buyback. it would be Parasite without the Puzzle Box 3 available. This is going to be, I think, at least 2 Raxes. They have 30 more seconds on Mage Bane and Kinesis, so definitely should be the top set. Maybe even a base tower bottom. Don't think they'll have time for the full megas.
Oh.
We'll have to see. Sheepstick goes out. Eruption.
Big eruption at that, but again, the follow-up damage is just not going to be enough. We do see the lockdown happening in favor of the Hellborn team. Down goes Parasite, and Magnus, he can't get away from there either. So the Rax is going to fall. Vote to concede coming out. GG, well played. Game 1 will go to Druids in the end. What a game we had there, though. Really just a back-and-forth battle between these two teams here in Game 1. And ultimately, Druids, though, they did start to gain a bit of an advantage, and they won. You know, Sandwraith, I am actually surprised at that stat line right there. I thought he definitely died more than that, but 15-1 and 21. Holy crap. That was a hell of a performance by him.
He might have had 1 or 2